We're going to talk about a really common question that our patients, we hear this every single day.
Every day.
A big part of our practice is implants, and a big question everybody has is, what's the cost?
The cost.
Why is the cost what it is?
So, and it's always an interesting conversation to have with people. One, I mean, we're definitely a specialty office, and our focus is on using the best material, using the absolute best diagnostic tools. We use a cone beam CT. We use 3D imaging. We use CAD/CAM software. We have a 3D printer. We place these implants as precisely as you possibly can.
We plan it digitally ahead of time.
Everything is
So when we get into the mouth, there's no questions. We know exactly where the nerve is. We know exactly where the sinus is. We know how much bone you have, the density of the bone.
When we do a case, sometimes we're in your mouth in 15, 20 minutes, the implant's in, you're sutured, and everything's done. And people sometimes say, wow, that was it? And the real answer to that question is we did a lot of stuff beforehand. A lot of planning went into that in order for everything to go so well. So yes, sometimes the costs can be a little bit high, and sometimes people feel like, man, this is a lot. But all of the stuff that we do to make it go quickly go into that cost. Yeah. And the cost for us, now we are an insurance-based practice here at MIP.
Yeah.
And so a lot of our costs are dictated by your insurance. And for most insurance companies, it's usually around $2,000 to place the implant. Now, $2,000 only includes placing the implant. Now, what else might happen? If you come in and let's say you have a big abscess, right? Your tooth is hurting, you have a lot of pain, and you come in to see us and we got to take that tooth out. Well, there's a cost of taking the tooth out. And then we got to clean out the infection. And when we clean out the infection,
there's a big hole.
There's a big hole, right?
Big void.
And we can't put an implant into a big hole, so what do?
You have to graft it, regenerate it. Replace it with bone.
Now let's talk about the bone material that we use. The stuff that we use is a very well-respected, it's got the most, I think it's got over 12 million cases already. I think it's one of the highest used ever materials. It's by far in many research studies and many of these, things, we read a lot of journals and they test different things. This is almost always the top material. It always gives the best results. And we use it for every one of our cases.
Yes.
So we also use something called PRF. And what's PRF?
Platelet-Rich Fibrin.
It's going to improve the healing. So when we're doing implants, the implant itself might cost $2,000, but then there's the cost of extracting the tooth, putting a bone grafting in, and after that, there's still one more cost, and that's usually with your general dentist or whoever referred you.
So the part we do, you don't see.
We're the foundation.
It's all hidden.
We're the foundation.
We're
right?
the foundation. But the implant is the anchor or the post, and then we have to build the tooth. So the general dentist or the prosthodontist typically is the person to do that. And there's two parts. It's called an abutment, and that actually screws into the implant. And then the crown is the part you see. And so the crown is like another crown in your mouth. It's made out of zirconia or porcelain or whatever material of you're choosing. But that abutment is torqued inside the implant, and then the crown is on that. And so those fees are additional to what we're doing.
Right. And when you look at the whole process, yes, there's definitely costs associated with it, but there's options to implants. One option is to do nothing, just leave a big hole there. Now, we don't recommend that, but that is an option. Another option is what we call a flipper. If you've ever seen a flipper, it's something that comes in and out of your mouth, and they call it a flipper because people used to flip it around in their mouth. So you probably don't want that long term. Mm-hmm. The other option would be a bridge. What do you do with the bridge? You actually shave down the two teeth on either side of that hole, and then you put this bridge that goes from one tooth to the other to replace that middle tooth.
It's permanent. It doesn't come in and out.
It doesn't come in and out.
But it's cemented like two crowns with the fake tooth in between.
Right.
And it's very hard, I will say, to get under and clean sometimes, especially if you have dexterity issues.
Yeah, and then there's other issues. I mean, when you think about when you lose a tooth, there's a lot of things that happen. What's the number one thing that happens when you lose a tooth and you don't do anything? Bone loss. You lose bone. Now, in your mouth, if you take a tooth out, if you want to prevent bone loss, you put a bone graft, okay? Now, if the tooth is in there, it stimulates the bone. The bone has stimulation. Something is telling the bone to stick around. If the implant is in there, it does the same exact thing. If you don't have either, there's nothing stimulating the bone, so the bone just dissolves, it just disappears. And if you have enough bone loss in your face, you start to get that kind of look where everything starts to...
If you've ever seen someone take out dentures and their face collapses.
Everything collapses.
Yeah. That's what the bone loss is.
So we don't want the bone loss. And this is a way to prevent the bone loss and regenerate and replace as efficiently and organically as possible.
You know, it is something that you can do over time. So if my insurance only covers a certain amount, I can have the implant screw completed, and then the next year I could have the crown. There's no harm in waiting, because we make a temporary, like a flipper, or there's a lot of different options for that, where you can still have a temporary in your mouth during that healing phase. How long does it usually take, would you say?
With implants, so if I take a tooth out, and let's say we don't do anything but the bone graft, typically that's going to be about 3 months before the bone is ready to place the implant. Once I place the implant needs another 3 months to heal before you can put your crown. Now, there are ways to get around this. One of the nice things that we do here, and I think we're one of the first, again, we like to say we're one of the first, we do what we call immediate loading. And so let's say you lose your front tooth, and man, losing your front tooth, it changes everything, right? You're not yourself, you can't smile, you can't laugh, you can't eat, everything changes. And if I give you a flipper, that thing is flipping around in your mouth.
Especially if you have like a high smile and you see everything, it just doesn't look the same.
And when you get that flipper, it's not preserving the gums, it's not preserving the bone. And a lot of times when we're ready to place the implant, the soft tissue is flat. The architecture is not there. And one of the reasons why we feel as periodontists we're well equipped to handle the soft tissue is because we really look at that papilla, the millimeters that make a difference. And if we place the implant and you have good bone and we can do an immediate load, meaning we place the implant and the temporary the same day, what's really nice about this is you preserve the soft tissue, you preserve all the aesthetics. And when you laugh, when you go home, nobody's gonna know that you even had anything done. And within 3 months, the day that we take that temporary off and you're ready for your crown, it looks perfect. There's nothing left to do. And that does make a huge difference. And I feel like when we've started doing this, it's a wonderful thing. So talk a little bit about the process. What do we do behind the scenes to get that done?
Yeah, I think that it's advertised a lot. Tooth in a day, tooth immediate, and that's what we're talking about. But we do need, at the exam, we take it's called an intraoral scan, and we have a special, it's a little wand that takes pictures of your teeth, and it gives us an impression, like the old goopy impression where you would have all this stuff in your mouth and you can't breathe for 5 minutes.
Right.
This replaces that. So we're getting a picture of your mouth without you there, so we can plan ahead of time, mixed with our 3D scan of your jaw. And we have it all made and ready to go, digitally planned in CAD/CAM, like ahead of time. So when you come for the surgery, it's in a half an hour you get you get everything. People do so well. There's very, very little pain.
That's the nicest thing. I mean,
it's amazing.
We have software where once we get those two things, we get a scan of your mouth and a scan of your bone, and we put those two things together, and we do the surgery digitally before they even come in.
Yep.
So there are no surprises for us. We can digitally remove your tooth, digitally place the implant, design your tooth.
And it's extremely accurate. I think we should mention that.
Nothing more precise.
Yeah.
Literally, there's nothing more precise. And then we have a 3D printer here, and we print out your tooth, we print out a guide. And again, how quick is this? How quick is the surgery? How quick is this?
Really fast.
When everything goes well, less than an hour, you're out of here.
Yeah. So Amar, I'd like to talk about dental tourism.
Yeah, I think
it's a big thing for I don't know, I've been seeing a lot of cases, second opinions, and treating some of this stuff. What do you think about it?
I think dental tourism, for some people, there's no other options, and we completely respect that.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of good doctors all over the world. There's a lot of competent people. There's a lot of good people out there. We're not saying we're the only ones. Now, I think there's also an old saying, you get what you pay for. And some doctors, you don't really know where you're going sometimes and who's actually doing the procedure. They might be fantastic, but they might not be. And as we were talking, I mean, there's a lot that goes into these procedures before you even come in for surgery. So if you go to, a place, and let's say you're there for a few days, they only have a few days to make it work for you. And they know that, and you know that, and they're going to deliver something. And we know that I can make anything work for a few days. I have the ability to make just about anything look pretty good for a few days.
Yeah, I mean, it's not customized, right? I just have what I have in my toolbox.
Right.
Sizes, shapes, brands.
And some of it works.
Yeah, some
and
of it works.
we've heard, hey, I can get all this done.
Yeah.
I can go to Turkey. I can go to Tijuana. And again, there's amazing doctors there, and we have a lot of friends all over the world, and they're fantastic doctors. And of course, the prices are always different. There's a reason why some of the prices are different. Now, everything that we use has to go through some compliance, some FDA, like even our implants are a few $100s. I mean, we can't get away with the cheap $30 implants. I mean, the overhead for us it's almost impossible to do something for a few $100s because the overhead just doesn't work. Mm-hmm. So there's going to be some differences. And again, if it's something that works for you, that's great. We're happy for you. Now, how many times do we see cases? Hey, doc, can you take a look at this? I had this done last year in Turkey, or I had last year in wherever. I don't want to pick one specific spot, but it could be anywhere.
Yeah.
And what happens? There's something wrong. Well, what are you going to do? Well, it's harder for us to fix a problem. And honestly, it costs a lot more to fix a problem than to actually do it right the first time. And the
success rate goes down. So the second time, the first surgery, you want to get it right. You want to get it perfect. You have the most bone at that point.
Right.
And the best anatomy to work with. And then the second time around, you start losing bone. You're taking implants out. You're losing actually the structure of the jaw.
Right.
And the success rate goes down to 70%. And that doesn't include different risk factors. So you're already set up for, not as successful of a result. And it gets messy.
Right, and now we have to find, let's say each implant company has a different screwdriver, they have different screws. So let's say you come to us and you say, hey, I got this done, wonderful place, wonderful doctor, but now we got to find the right parts and pieces. And some of those parts and pieces we don't have in America because they're not really approved here to be in your mouth.
Sometimes they have 8 different types of implants. I have a case like that.
We've seen that.
So that's what I was talking about, the toolbox. I'm like, okay, I think they just, put whatever they want.
Whatever they had in the, we had a few implants, we're going to put those in, and they work. But, it might not be ideal.
Yeah.
So, the costs of anything are going to be different all over the world. And, we're here in the U.S. We love being here in the U.S. There are some things that just cost a little bit more here than they do other places. And, of course, there's going to be good work. There's going to be great stuff from other places, but there's a risk. And those risks, it's hard for us to take them on after they've already been done somewhere else. So hopefully you enjoyed this. It was educational. You learned a little bit. And you're interested in maybe watching more videos, please subscribe or like at the bottom. And we'd love to see you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Restore your smile and your health. Schedule your appointment today.